Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome back to Fit and Fierce with me, Beverly Johnson. For all of you that have never tuned in before, thank you for joining me. I'm so grateful that you came to hang out with me for a few minutes today on Sunday. As you can see, I got my Halloween decorations going on. Oddly enough, I do love harvest season, primarily because here in the South, it goes from not being oppressively hot to tolerable, and to candy corn. I'm probably one of 15 people in this world that actually like candy corn, but that's okay. I'm here for it. If you've never tuned in before, my name is Beverly Johnson. I'm the owner of Genesys Fitness located here in Huntsville, Alabama. I have been involved with the fitness industry, I want to say about going on 10 years now. I'm a group fitness instructor. I love kickboxing. I love dance fitness. Oddly enough, originally starting out on this journey, I started out as a CPA. I planned on becoming a CPA. I had this ideal in my mind. Oh, you've never had candy corn, Miss Ida? Oh, it's an acquired taste. As my best friend says, she says it tastes like wax with a hint of sugar, but she's a hater, but I love her anyway. So when we think about fitness, I came into this truly by accident. Like I said, my goal was to, hey, mama, my goal was to become a CPA, be involved with the CIA, being a forensics accountant. I didn't want to shoot people. Let's be clear. I had no intention. I didn't want to be in the field out shooting people. I wanted to be in the van with the one controlling all the stuff. That was my life goal. I was going to be in the van. But somehow or another, I was introduced to fitness, and the rest is history. Before we go, candy is not wax and sugar. It's just all pure sugar, which will, hey, Miss Kim, which will send you on a trip. Before we become into the topic, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. If you have not scheduled your appointment for your mammogram, please do so. Please go ahead and schedule your appointment. Most cases it's covered by your insurance. So it's better to go do that than live in uncertainty. A few years ago, because breast cancer runs on my mom's side of the family, my grandmother had it. I went in one day and they came back and they said my test was abnormal. And when I tell you for that hour, I was terrified. I did not know what to do. But blessedly, it came back saying that I had dense tissue. So please don't be fearful. Breast cancer can impact both men and women. I don't know if you all are familiar with Richard Roundtree. He was the original Shaft back long time ago. He was diagnosed with breast cancer. So breast cancer is not respecter of man or woman. Please go get your mammogram. Save the chi-chis. So going into our topic, I know that's a hard pivot, but go get the chi-chis checked. Today we're going to talk about something that is often a question that I get asked a lot by prospective clients, or in one of our talk about is, why do diets fail? And I'll be first. Yay, Donna. Yes, Kim. Yes, mine's coming up next week after next. We're talking about why diets fail. And I will be the first to tell you that it is a very nuanced conversation because of the messaging in social media. A lot of times, for me, we place such a heavy premium on aesthetics that we have created an obsessive culture with image. And this is Hill I'll down. That you have so many people that they post. You have to understand a lot of information on social media with a lot of celebrities and personalities and influencers is very curated content. And so they show you what they want you to see. And for unfortunately, if you're following influencers, there are some that will Photoshop their images. They'll whittle down their waist. They'll give themselves a flat stomach. They'll enhance the back area. So at times you may not even get a clear picture of who you're really aspiring to be. So I'm very careful when people post stuff about fitness inspiration that you don't become obsessive about trying to reach a goal that's not even realistic. I'll tell any and everybody, Halle Berry is goals for me. And not so much the fact that she played Catwoman, because we ain't gonna talk about that movie. But I respect her because she's 55 and she's still in action movies. She's still living her best life, which is aspirational for a lot of us that have been told that your life ends at a certain space. But I'm not naive to the fact that Halle Berry has a personal chef, a personal trainer, and she has things and nannies. So she has the time in her schedule to allow her to operate a certain way. So the first reason I believe diets fail, let me get my notes, is because we're living up to an image or we're aspiring to something that we can't achieve. Because a lot of times you have those shows that we call like revenge body, that if I look good and I look a certain way, then I will achieve the things that I want. So we put so much pressure on ourselves on the external and so much pressure on the diet that we can't achieve our goals. Because I'll tell anyone, if you're prior military, I'm sure you understand this with this analogy I'm about to give. That when I was in the military, long time ago, back when I had knees like Meg the Stallion, the primary focus was you make weight and you pass your PT test. And the stress of making weight and passing your PT test, that was it. There was not so much the foundation of okay, this is why you're doing stuff. It was being able to pass your PT test, making weight, and keeping everything. And I remember having people that literally told me that before the PT test, and in order to make weight, they would give themselves laxatives the week before just to make sure that they purged their system to make weight. And I actually had someone tell me, yes, it was all about passing that test. And I remember having people tell me, if you're not sure if you're going to make weight, take a laxative the whole weekend. Now, keep in mind, oddly enough, I'm the same weight now as I was then. Where at this weight, I was mentally worried to the point where I was phobic about not passing the test because I was consumed with the opinions of other people. Hey, beautiful. And so when you're focused on your weight, you're focused on the external, we have created a culture of body shamers. And when you're always in a certain space where you have keyboard warriors that are always sitting in their homes judging you, that puts in the back of your mind, I got to lose weight. I got to get myself right. I got to be acceptable for strangers that I don't even know. I don't know if you know actor Jonah Hill, where he lost a lot of weight. And he had to ask people respectfully, stop commenting on his weight loss. Because that was becoming terrifying to him because everybody had an opinion about you. Everybody's going to have an opinion about you. But that should not be the determining factor for you to decide to go on a diet. Somebody else's opinion of you, like my mom would say, don't pay no bills up in here. They don't give you no job. They don't pay nothing nowhere. So when you're talking about a diet, make sure your entry point is not based on the opinions of other people and not because you've been body shamed into feeling guilty. One time I was at an event, it was a few months ago, and I was handing out my pamphlets. I was sniggling, kicking, and giggling, and this lady stopped, and she was like, is this about fitness? Because I don't want to be about fitness. And what I heard in that space is that somebody had told her she wasn't enough. and that she needed to change herself to be enough. I will tell you first and foremost, you are enough. You are the apple of the Creator's eye. So if you're trying to change who you are to appease to anybody or any group of people, that ain't your group. I said what I said. Number 2, why we often struggle with diets. I want you to think about what has been your entry point into fitness. Because if you were, as a child, often ridiculed for your body, often ridiculed for your shape, your entry point to fitness and healthy lifestyle has probably been traumatic. I have had co-workers that have told me that they were put on diets at 8 years old, that they were forced to exercise at 8 years old because the messaging that they heard was, we have to fix you. I can't imagine telling an 8-year-old girl that you need to go on a diet because you're fat. I can't fathom the damage that we do to our young girls. So if that is your entry point into fitness, you're going to automatically have a grudge against it. You're going to automatically see it as a punishment. So when you go into the fitness space, like, well, I got to exercise because my mama said I ain't this, my daddy said I ain't this, you're going to automatically hate it. And so you're going to go into the fitness realm with an attitude. You're not going to be open to the process. You're not going to be open to the changes, because deep down, what you're going to subconsciously do is fight me on every suggestion. Not to say that you don't think they're good, but you're going to fight me as a space of resistance because you're going to try to hold on to control. So number 2 that I've often seen is that when you have had an entry point into fitness that is tied to being a punishment, or you look at it and go, well, I've had a bad week, girl. I guess I get on over here into the gym, because now it's tied to, if I've had a bad week, I'm a bad person. So now I got to go to the gym and make up for it. And what's going to end up happening is that, again, you're going to resent being in there. I know, because I was that person. See, military experience, where at times I developed a mental block against exercising because I hated the fact that I had to go out there. I hated the fact that I had to get on the scale and be told at my height I was obese. I hated, excuse me, having to do the run and the push-up and all this other stuff. I hated that. And so the irony of life, for me to be in this fitness realm, knowing how I felt about it, is just, I won't say hilarious. It just shows that God has plans for you. Because the very things that I hate, turns out I didn't hate it. I hated the environment I had to do it in. I hated running 2 miles. It was bleh. But now I can run, well, used to, thanks to, pre-COVID. Running 2 miles was just insane to me. Now the thought of running a 5K or training for a 10K seems like, oh, I can do that. And so when I crossed the finish line on my first 5K, that told me that I had a mental block back then. That it wasn't that I couldn't do it. It was my entry point. So diets often fail because you often tie it to a punishment. Well, because I gained weight, let me go on in here and eat. Let me go on here and do this. And so if it's your entry point into healthy lifestyle, is because you've been told you need to lose weight by a doctor or by, unfortunately, I can't speak for other demographics, but for holiday season that's coming up, y'all, we can't let somebody walk in the door and go, ooh, you done gained weight. That ain't agreed. I can't speak for no other demographic, but y'all, during holiday season, we can't have nobody walk in the house and go, you done gained weight, because you internalize that the whole time. And so, number 1, too much emphasis on the external because you feel that you've been body shamed or you have been told that culturally you're not enough. Number 2, Your entry point into exercise has been one of being told or viewed as a punishment. Because if you just fill it in a space the first of the year, it's the end of the year and I'm waiting on somebody to go, "Ooh, Lord, I got to do something." When you get in that space, yes, you will. When you get into that space, you're going to resent working out because you haven't developed, going into number 3, why diets fail. You haven't developed your why. And for me, when I got into my mindset of finding my why, my workouts made a difference. Because the side benefits of exercising and living a healthy lifestyle is that it's not just impacting you, but it's impacting your family. Your lifestyle changes impact every part of your life. For example, if I realize that I get my fitness and my mindset under control, then that means I'm ready to get my finances under control, which means I'm going to call Latoya and be like, "I need you to coach me because I've made mistakes in the past and I want to go forward." Which means I want to get another aspect of my life together because now I recognize that my mindset has shifted. In order to live a successful, sustainable lifestyle change, it starts with a mindset makeover. Because one thing that's detrimental about diets is that a diet should never offer starvation. Starvation is not a diet plan. It should never put you on an extremely low caloric intake, which means if it's saying every day you have to eat no more than 1,000 calories, that's a sign and an indicator. If your diet is telling you that you can only eat certain food groups or restrict certain food groups, that's an indicator. If it's telling you that you eat once a day, pause. I'm not referring to intermittent fasting. That's a whole nother topic. Going back. But your diets normally fail because we're trying to handle the fruit of the problem, but we're not addressing the root. So in order to have a sustainable lifestyle change, you have to get to how I got here and what can I do to change it. Because if you don't address the root, you're going to keep dashing and dabbling at the fruit, trying to correct the fruit, trying to correct the root. So if the end state is, I want to get off these medications because I know this isn't healthy. I recognize with this additional weight, I don't sleep good. I don't sleep well. I recognize that this current path, I'm not going to be here to do the things that I've been assigned to do. That becomes your why. And when you lock in on your why, you will find out that you need to do the things to make that happen. Because once you lock in on what you need to do and why you need to do it, then everything else falls into place. I had one client, she said, "I need to be here for my grandkids. Full stop." And she said, "And where I am right now won't allow me to be here for my grandkids." And so what she did a whole kitchen overhaul. She got rid of the junk food. She implemented everything that was suggested, and she's still going strong. Because she said, "I want to retire and be here for my grandbabies. And being like in this won't get me there." And so when we're so quick to do a diet, we're only addressing the fruit, but we're not looking at the root. Because yes, you can do these insane diets. Yes, you can. You will lose an insane amount of weight, and you're going to gain it all back because you have not sat down and forgiving yourself for the choices that you've made, giving yourself the grace to start over, and allow yourself to be in a space to partner with someone that can give you the tools that you need. Because yes, there are some spaces where you don't know what you don't know. Going back to my military experience, everybody said, "Go to the gym and work out." I went to the gym and I did the same 4 exercises every time I went. I got on a treadmill. And I did whatever I did on a treadmill for a few minutes. Then I went to the machines and I read what the machine did that, and I went on back home. It was not effective. It was not helpful. And I wasted a lot of time. Not because I didn't want to be successful, I didn't know what I was doing. And so a lot of times our diets fail because we know we need to implement a change. We know we need to do something, but you don't know what is. And so a lot of times we just take shots in the dark. We see these popular diets that are trending and we'll do it. But we don't understand that if it requires you to do something extreme, it's not going to be successful. Once I unlock, here's the cheat code. The cheat code is, boy, y'all listening right now. The cheat code is this: a balanced, healthy diet based on what you like. And it's going to be a trial and error to find out what you like. So before you go to Sprouts and Trader Joe's, before you throw all your groceries away because you are ready to do a new thing, don't do that. Do not do a Beverly Johnson, because when I got serious about losing weight, I cleaned out my whole pantry and they have nobody's groceries. What you have to do is figure out your why and keep that in front of you. My why was, I am better than what I've settled for. I have been numb. I have walked through life post-divorce, and it's time for me to show up as an active participant in my life. I forgave myself for the mistakes that I made, and I was ready to get back in this world and become an active player. So that meant I was not trying to diet. I did all that. I did the eat twice a day, eat cereal, middle of the day, eat a whole meal. I did that. I did the cabbage diets. I did the diets. I did all of that. And I did not have success. But it wasn't until I changed my mindset to realize that I'm not here for temporary. I'm here for long term, because there's work I need to do. So the key is, the cheat code is, you're going to have to figure out, one, your strategy and your why. Two, understand that this is going to be a trial and error to find out the foods you like and that you don't like. This means having more vegetables in your diet, having more fruits in your diet, and drinking water. Now, in the South, we start out in the womb drinking sweet tea. We do. And Kool-Aid. Those are staples in most Black people's houses, Kool-Aid and sweet tea. But you also have to understand that too much sugar content can also produce negative results. So in order to get the results that you're looking for, you have to be willing to do the things you haven't done before, which means opening yourself up to new foods, opening yourself up to new fruits, and opening yourself up to starting to branch out into exercise. Because everything doesn't work for everybody. I cannot stand spinning exercises because I'm like, we ain't going nowhere. Why am I on this bike and I ain't going nowhere? But I had to figure that out by going. So part of this process is trying to figure out, what is it that you want to accomplish? So if your goal is, I want to lose 10 pounds, we have to build a framework on how you're going to get there. And it's not just about, I'm going to just eat some fruits and vegetables. Boom. I'm going to go exercise. Boom. But what does that look like? What are you willing to do to get there? What are you willing to trade? What's going to be your trade-off? Because as we go into this holiday season, there's going to be some decisions that have to be made. Number one, do not walk in no house and tell nobody, oh, you done got big. Number one. But part of your strategy is having to figure out, in order to achieve this goal, we have to build a framework on how you're going to get there. And how I have maintained my journey is that I build out a framework to say, in order to maintain where I am, these are the things that I have to do. I have to consume so many calories a day, make sure I have my fruits, my vegetables, my snacks, and as well as my exercise program. And by doing that, I hold myself accountable. And so diets fail because there's no quick fix. There really is not a quick fix that's going to give you the sustainable changes that you're looking for. But when you're ready to build a sustainable lifestyle change based on the hard work and the grit and the grind, because this journey is not sexy. It is not sexy. It's going to come down to some days. How bad do you want it? Now, I'm not saying you can't have a cheat day. Not saying you can't have a cheat meal, but your overall strategy in understanding why diets fail is because there's a point where you're trying to get to the fruit and not talk about your root. And that's something that we all have to conquer. That when you lock in and figure out that I have work to do and that I need to be as healthy and as whole and as healed as possible, then things start to change because I lock in on my why, that I got stuff to do. And I can't do that in an optimal level being in a certain condition. I know we hear the word purpose all the time, but regardless of the space in this world that you're sitting in, you have a purpose. And you have to be healed, healthy, and well enough to accomplish that. And when you lock in on your purpose, that becomes your why, that becomes your mindset. And when you understand that you are valuable, you won't just accept anything. Because I can't be my best self if I'm operating on a lower level. So if I know I'm getting ready to prepare for a race in a 5K, I have to prepare my mind and my body. So there are no quick fixes. There are no shortcuts. The cheat code is there ain't no shortcuts. I have tried for 10 years to find one and I ain't found one yet. The cheat code is you got to put in this work. Because I guarantee you, when you start showing up for yourself in this space, you're going to show up for yourself every place else. So before I get out of here, I want to thank Swagger, Fancy, and Jarmel for allowing me the space to be in the travel booklet. Y'all, thank y'all so much for the preview of the e-booklet that was in there. Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing my bestie, Donna McClendon, as she rolled out her new nonprofit, Let's Talk Veterans. We're going to be doing great things. Be on the lookout for that. So one thing before I will get in the booklet was the preview of the ebook that's to be published. The ebook goes live tomorrow. So I will drop the information tomorrow. I will have everything in play tomorrow where you can just hit the link and we'll send it out. So thank you so much for your support. Be on the lookout for the official ebook to drop tomorrow. Y'all, I feel like Cardi B or somebody talking about I'm about to drop some, but that's okay. The best is yet to come. So have a great week. I will see y'all next week. Next week, our resident therapist, Jeronica Fearson, will be in the house as we talk about emotional wellness and navigating this holiday space. Because right now, I don't know if you are familiar with, a lot of people suffer with seasonal affective disorder, SAD, where normally this time your emotions kind of go on a roller coaster. And we're going to talk about emotional wellness with our resident therapist, Jeronica Fearson. I love y'all to bits. Have a great day. See y'all next week.